Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all my followers, my audience, the people that are always here to listen to me, to my rants. Oh, sorry, it's noisy. I'm having a lazy day today. I'm just like laying on the couch, doing nothing. I think I deserve it. My kids are at school. I decided to come here for about 2 hours. I'm not gonna last long. I'm gonna be here for just 2 hours, no longer than 2 hours, because I have to go and exercise. This weight is just too much. I have to take care of it. I have been saying this for the longest. I know. America. When America gets you, it's hard to take your life back from America. But I'm gonna do it. And I promise you guys, I'm gonna take you along with me. I'm gonna do it. I have to go exercise. I'm gonna make videos and I'm gonna post it on my channel. Uh, there's some lady that insulted me that I was so fat. I mean, I did not take offense to it. I was just shocked that she would go from being nice to me to just starting insulting me. It's not an insult. I take it as a challenge. And yeah, I'm gonna lose the weight. So thank you for righteous, what's her name again? For righteous girls or whatever her name is. So I'm gonna lose the weight and I'm gonna show you guys the result. Today, not today, oh, I have to get it done. But anyway, thank you to you guys that always here listening to me, listening to my rant, even though I annoy some people, a lot of people. Oh my god. I'm not your typical YouTuber. Trust me, I'm not here for the fame or the money or whatever. I'm here to state my truth and I'm here to create a community of people. Like I just hope to find some people that think alike so that I don't know we can put some type of like solution to our issue in place, and step by step, slowly and slowly, um improve. But anyway, so I came across the video of one of my favorite YouTuber. You guys already know, Go Black to Africa. So Go Black to Africa was having an interview with a group of Ugandan, how do you say, Ugandans? What is it? Can somebody help me, please? You say Ugandan. Mm. Oh, can you hear me? Oh yeah, they say I lost connection to the mic, but anyway, I think it's fixed now. Thank you, Alexis. Ugandan, Ugandan. There's certain sound that we don't have in French, so it's really hard for me to pronounce. Ugandan, Ugandan lady. So she was, I mean, he was having a discussion with a group of Ugandan young lady, and this lady, I didn't feel like these people understood each other. So Go Black to Africa and it was Go Black to Africa, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and three Ugandan ladies. So they were talking about, I mean, uh, male and female relationship, men and women relationship. I would say it like that. So their discussions, like I did not feel like these two people were understanding of each other, because O'Shea and Go Back to Africa, Go Black to Africa, were speaking from a point of view of an experience of an African American. And those three young ladies were speaking from the standpoint of an African's typical society. And I feel like they were not understanding each other. They were having two different discussions. So let me see. It looks like I wasn't on the stream myself. Oh my god, it looks like I was talking to myself. Like I forgot to add myself on the stream though. But it looks like everybody's gone. So I did not know I wasn't on the screen, so I was talking to myself apparently. So I was gonna share the video on the discussion. Let me find the video. It was on the Go Black to Africa's channel. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like I forgot to add myself to the stream, and I'm over here talking to my own self. Yeah, it looks like I forgot. Oh my god. Still learning, still learning. It's okay. But anyway, what I was saying is that this discussion seems like it was like a deaf person, two deaf person having a discussion. Not really too deaf, but like 50% deaf. Let's say like that. I'm gonna try to pull up the video and we're gonna all look at it. and see if it's me, or I would love for some Africans to be on the live stream so that they can see for themselves and tell me if I'm just wrong or what. So yeah, um, the two group of people, which were the African Americans and then the Africans, were speaking each from their particular experience, and it was like, oh, I was like, I wish I was the moderator. Like I would reformulate and kind of like, I wish I was the referee. Like I would be making sure that one group understand what the other group is saying and where they're coming from, because they did not like. I feel it was such a good discussion. I mean, like it was a good discussion. We need those type of discussion, but at the same time, we have to um, keep in mind that we are speaking from two different perspectives. You know, we don't our experience and are not always the same. And then our problem, the main thing for me was that our issue are not the same though. We don't have the same issue when it comes to gender role. Like with the African Americans male, their complaint is completely is the opposite, to be honest with you. As my understanding from the issue on the African Americans like kind of relationship, it's the male complaining about the woman wanting to be equal to them, demanding without giving much in return. And Oshi was explaining, he was saying that for a woman to kind of like have a profile drawn for the type of men that she will want to engage with in a relationship with, or that she will want to marry, she has to also ensure that she it's like she represents, or maybe she has the same equal quality that she's demanding from a man, you know, not just count on how beautiful she is, and that she shouldn't just rely on her beauty, or maybe on the fact that she is a woman. That shouldn't be her only the only thing she's bringing on the table, which that made me kind of think like that like I like the discussion. It was very eye-opening and very helpful to me, like to look at things from the men perspective. And I didn't think they were wrong though, like for real. Even in Africa, what the woman doesn't necessarily, but no, that's different. That's why I'm saying it's different. It's two different society. We cannot mix them up. Our needs are different, to be honest with you guys. In Africa, when you're a young lady, your mom prepare you. I mean, she prepares you to be a good wife. That one, it's a given over there. When you're growing up, you know that you have to uh, um, ensure that your daughter possess the skills of a basic good wife. Meaning what? She has to have the nurturing aspect of a woman. She has to know how to care. She has to know how to uh she has to know what a man is looking for in a woman. To no, I'm talking about traditionally. I'm not talking about like the like keep yourself just beautiful. No, I mean in a marriage, like the gender roles are well defined. There's no confusion over there. You are a woman. You're supposed to be the person that holds the home together. You know, if there's a conflict of interest, the woman has to be the one to compromise always in our society. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest with you. Like if you're a man that really can take care of the family, I mean, I can sacrifice my career. I don't know why some people like found it so offensive and all that. I can sacrifice, but maybe I would not like because the children they eventually gonna grow. They're gonna become independent. And if I live in a place like the United States, I can always go back and pick up where I left. Like the like now, like these IT jobs and Saint James is asking me if I'm envious of Western women. No, not at all. No, I'm a traditional woman. Trust me. Like I'm envious of Western women. No, I'm a tradition. I always tell you guys here that I am the most submissive. That word, I'm not scared of it. Like, I don't know. It's only in the West that I even hear that it was a bad word that people don't want to use. Some women that want. I am so submissive. If a man loves me, the only thing I'm asking for is someone that loves me, respects me, see my value. If we're gonna form a family, I have no problem stepping into my woman's role, like natural woman role, which is to nurture, to take care of the family. I mean, I love it. That's one of the best thing for me, to be honest with you. I have no problem with this person comes again on my 69 girls, sex, whatever. I don't know where you're coming from. I blocked you yesterday. You coming back again? Let me block you again. Bye bye. You are the wrong address, dear. It's not here. Have a wonderful day. St. James, I don't know if you're still here. I'm not envious of Western women. And we have to define what we call Western women. This is more of a discussion than just me ranting like I always do. Like a Western woman, I don't know. When we were in Africa, when we say Western, all we see is white people. It's not like until we come to America that we learned that there were some Westerners that were like black. But yeah, so uh, Western women when we were young and when we talked about Western, what did we see? We saw women that were raised the same way as a man, that has the same right, that is demanding the same treatment as a man. And to us, that was like strange. There was no balance there because we always feel like we should be complementary. So there should be certain things that is defined. I mean, that is reserved to the woman and to the man. Meaning that that doesn't mean we cannot help each other. We can help each other, but mainly you're supposed to take care of this, and the man's supposed to take care of that. Same role. What do you mean same role, Saint James? Saint James. Yeah, like they play the same role. Imagine that you in the family, like my husband has to go to work. I have to go to work maybe the same time with my husband. I don't know who is like there to take care of the children. I mean, who is there to watch the children? And I even feel like the children need to be watched more in the West than at home. I know home is getting bad now, but before you could trust your neighbor. You could just, I mean, the child. There was there was no notion like who is gonna keep an eye on my children. Now at home, it looks like you have to do that now. But before there was, you going to the market, you're gonna be like, hey neighbor, I'm going to the market. I'm gonna be gone for 20 minutes. Can you please keep an eye on my child? And they would do so. I mean, there would be just like the roles are not differentiated, unlike in Africa. Men do certain things and the woman. Yeah, the roles are not differentiated, but at the end of there, there's I don't know. Like when you, I don't even know. They say that, but really there are a lot of stuff that men do that women don't. You know, There's a lot. I don't think that I see often women on top of their roof cleaning the gutter, but I see men doing that all the time. Like in my neighborhood, I see men doing that, but I don't see women doing it. Yeah. So I don't know about that. Let me see. I'm gonna put up the discussion that Go Black was having with the Ugandan lady, and I felt as if they were speaking from different angle. I mean, from different experience. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Select the window. StreamYard. Allowed. Allowed. This discussion was so good. Person that gomesi, like my grandmothers were wearing gomesi. This girl. Jackson. Hi, my name is May. First of all, my understanding when I was listening to these girls, the idea of feminism is not the same idea of feminism in the West. We have to make sure we understand that these girls are not asking to be equal to the African men and to be fighting with. You cannot. Where are you even going to start? Like, when you get married in Africa, it's not about even you two. Two of you are the last even to consider in that marriage. You married to form a family, and you married to join two family together. And when you join them, all right, so family, we are here having a great conversation, and the topic really is about the African woman becoming westernized like an American. Now, I want to open up because, I have traveled to about 19 African countries, and I see every time I come on this computer and trying to share something, never works. This is my laptop. It gives me such a headache. I don't want to go to my office. I want to stay here on the couch. I'm gonna close it and then start over. Sorry guys. Every time I want to share something, it never works. What is wrong with this computer? Let me try it again. One more time. What is that? Right, let me share my screen. I'm gonna share the screen. Share the screen. Share the screen. Can you guys see the screen? Is it working now? All right. St. James said that I'm all for African women to be heard and empowered. Oh my God. That's all we're asking for, to be honest with you. I would never want to be like the men at all. I don't even want equal right, to be honest with you. Oh my God. Give me the right to stay home. And you go. I'm not talking about staying home and not having to work. No, I would love to help my men. I look at my men as my God, I don't want nothing to happen to him. Like he's like I don't know what if one part of my body. Like if something happened to one part of my body, I'm suffering equally. I don't understand gender war, to be honest with you. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. I think that it's self-hate, to be honest with you guys. And I understand that some women in the West like get very upset that they have supported some men for so long and they end up betraying them. Well, that's just life. Just move on. Even your own child can just can really betray you. So what? Just enjoy the time you guys are together and make the great memory. If it happens that okay, let me go. So this is the discussion. I really love this discussion, but I did not think that these two understood each other.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Go Black to Africa. My friend used to pay $163 a month for car insurance. Now he only pays $38. So I'm here with great guests here. My man O'Shea, Duke Jackson to my right hand, and my beautiful sisters here. Please introduce you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Doreen. Hi, my name is Janita Maya. I work for Kinganda and O'Shea Duke Jackson. Hi, my name is May Ketesi. I work for Capital FM. Okay.
All right, so family, we are here having a great conversation, and the topic really is about the African woman becoming westernized like an American. Now, I want to open up because, I have traveled to about 19 African countries, and I see that the transformation of African women are beginning to look more like a Western, Black American woman. Not to say that there's anything wrong with how a Black American woman looks, but I'm seeing that the attitude, the mentalities, the behaviors, the dressing, these dancings and stuff are starting to creep in to the African woman. So I want to open the floor up, O'Shea.
Okay, first of all, I want to address this part where Go Black to Africa said that he's noticing a change in the African woman's behavior. I agree with him completely. That is the mimicking part of your typical African people. We mimic. And with the social media, people just engage into things that they see from other community without understanding the meaning and the effects that it has on that community. So I don't think that the African women even understand what they're doing. They're just mimicking as usual. That is also because everything coming from US supposed to be the best. The US American people are I mean the US is the greatest has the greatest PR ever to sell their image and their culture to the rest of the world. That's why those women. But the thing with this, like African women, they're mimicking the wrong thing because they watch stuff like Real Housewife of Atlanta or uh, Love and Hip Hop, all those reality show that even American themselves criticize and say that they don't want their children to be watching because African people are not educated on the meaning of certain thing and how it affects the society from which those those things come from. They don't know. They're just mimicking. So yeah.
And that you've come from the Western world.
Mhm.
Do you happen to see this trend happening?
Oh, oh yes. I mean, because the thing is, I don't really have a lot to compare it to before 2017.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what it was like before. I can only gauge on what people have told me how women were.
Yeah.
Like we had a good conversation yesterday about how women were traditionally. But what I do know is that whatever they used to be, they're not that anymore. So it could be really good qualifying reasons, which I think we should get to them and find out what that is, and that way I can kind of respond to it.
So we're going to open up to you, ladies, and I mean, because you all know you all's history. You have mamas, grandmothers. You all have seen, even coming from your youth, how things have come to this point now.
And you guys know the irony. You guys understand the irony in Africa. Africa is like, let me not bash Africa again. People just gonna kill me. So, but I'm saying that we have. When I say we mentally ill, we are. To be honest with you, because for the past 20 years, or let's 15 years, like the prevalence of churches, like churches are everywhere in Africa, and churches supposed to be like bringing on like morality, getting a society to behave better, to conform, to be decent, to be like morally correct. So, but the more churches are coming, the less uh, uh the less morality is it's prevalent. People are becoming less and less moral. They're becoming like, I don't know, loose, I would say. Churches were supposed to come and really create a guideline on how people should behave and remain decent and moral and yeah. But I don't understand. Oh my God, Africa
Do you see a
people.
trend? Do you see a change?
Yes. I think change is something that is natural. Yes. And it's something we can't avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And however much we do not agree or we think they are changing in a way that is contrary to African culture, it is something we have to adopt. Yeah. As long as they're changing and not completely eradicating culture, African culture. Yes, I think they're just trying to incorporate new styles and new ways of life into their old ways. Yeah.
But that's not the case, though. That's where the issue lies or lays, whatever. That's where the issue lies because um, change in Africa usually is copy and paste because we have our bases. We could have like improved what we already have. Like even in my own country now, I see young girls like the way they dress as if they were on this. I mean, on the stage, you know, because they don't understand. They don't put this thing into a context. Like usually they see people like Beyonce or all these American stars, like you know how they like to wear the least uh, amount of material. They use the least amount of material to make their clothes. In my country, girl are exposing their breasts more and more. It has become like a trend. Like you see how people dress, I'm like, oh my God. People used to be so conservative. I mean, like that was even the way to attract men. Don't to carry yourself with decency. Cover up, you know, dress decently. But now it's the opposite. Every girls are looking like more and more like sluts, and they are gonna be treated like one, and they're not gonna like it because you cannot be like making yourself looking so. To me, it's looking cheap. To be honest with you, like okay, you don't have to make an effort to see what I got. I'm just gonna show it to you. I'm just gonna expose it. You can just, I mean, yeah. What do you mean, Saint James, that the men has to step up? How they gonna step up? What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what May is saying. I think when you say westernized, it can come off as you trying to say, oh, we are trying to copy, you know, whereas it's more of like we are just moving with the times. It's not necessarily we are copying and pasting.
What you talking about? She's like, they're not coping. What you talking about? You're being inspired by someone else. Not even being inspired. Being inspired is not copying. Being inspired is like, okay, somebody give you an idea and you take it and make it yours. You know, by watching somebody doing something, it gives you an idea on how you can improve yours and enhance what you have. That's not the case. Our women are becoming like when I was growing up, there was nothing like boyfriend girlfriend in Africa. Now it's the I'm oh my god, it's the trend. You couldn't come home with a guy at all and be like, this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend. No, never. Never. Oh my god, that's the most disrespectful thing ever. Like me, if I bring a man at home, I'm coming to tell my dad or my mom that okay, this is the man I'm gonna be married. I will want to marry because that man still have to be approved. They still have to approve it, and it's after a process. It's not like when you come, like in the West, when you come and introduce someone to your family. It's like, okay, this is my husband. I want to ask you, can I marry this man? No, no, no. It's not like that. They're gonna vet him first. They're gonna go through. Um, I mean, there's a traditional way that we're gonna investigate, background check. They're gonna, uh, I mean, it involves a lot of things, of different things. It's not just they have to go through the oracles. They, it's a lot. It's not like now the youth are so it almost looks as if the youth don't have any more guidance. Like they're just going and knee down and giving a ring to girl left and right and 2 months later they're divorced and people are wondering why. Like seriously, very soon African people gonna start having family issue. Like that is one of the things that I knew that even if we were poor, we had we had it in place. Family, that was everything. There was a lot of stuff that you do because of family, and a lot of stuff that you cannot do because of family. You don't want to put your family in shame because that's how society is structured in Africa. Your family's reputation is everything. There's certain behavior you cannot engage yourself in because you don't want to bring shame uh, to your family. Yeah. Even when you want to be like stealing, if you steal, like it reflects on your family. In the neighborhood, everybody is going to be calling your family thief. And even your sister will have a hard time finding a husband because nobody's not going to marry a girl that's coming from a family of people that steal. Stuff like that. But now, oh my God, morality is thrown to the trash. Everybody just going to the church, knowing that they're going to, on Sunday, go ask for forgiveness for any craziness that they have done during the week.
Because if we're copying, then would be somewhere else, you know? It's like us would all be whites then. Yeah. We don't have bitch or something. Yeah, like African American.
Let me ask a question. So I guess the question that we probably want to know is because we were talking about feminism yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
And feminism and women's rights have evolved in Uganda and all over the continent.
Yeah.
But why has that been such of a big push? Women's rights, women's equalities, and why do women feel how they feel like with respect to marriage, working, those things? Why is women's attitudes changing now in comparison to times past? That's the question I guess you probably want to know.
So I am going to agree with the ladies personally. Like May said, change is a fact of life and something that you cannot avoid. So I think just like how technology changes, every now and then there's an iPhone 5 and now there is an iPhone 14 and they operate differently, and then every day you learn something new about something that wasn't there yesterday. I think, like she said, we are trying to incorporate in these other things that are coming in, like the changes that keep coming in, so we are keeping up with what is happening. But yeah, we are not, it's not like we are completely eradicating our culture, but then we are not going to, it's not going to be the same like it was in 1990, because things change.
Yeah, and just to give you a brief, let's just give them like 5 things to remember about the women in the 1990s.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me just, that dress code to begin with.
Yeah.
The dress code, there are some things that I've never seen, me personally, I've never seen a mother wear a trouser. But I feel okay wearing that because you know,
it's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. And then also something else, where I grew up from, something to do with food. There are some kinds of food that women weren't allowed to eat in our home. You cannot eat a chicken gizzard. Where I come from, it has to be eaten by a man.
You still have trauma now. You can't even eat it even if you're grown.
I've never eaten it, by the way.
I can't even eat it.
So yeah. Those are the 2 things that I can talk about.
Yeah.
Anything you want to
Also, if we want to tell them about the women in the 1990s, let's.
St. James, she's saying that the woman in the 1990 couldn't eat certain food, couldn't dress certain ways, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly what I'm trying to say. Like they want to copy what's coming from elsewhere instead of improving what they have already. Because we could have in 2022, we could prove by science or experiment that there's nothing wrong with eating the food that they said that before they believe women should not. We could have like prove and debunk that. I'm saying, or maybe debunk the idea that if women wear trousers, that's like competing with the men. You can wear trousers and still be very feminine and submissive. Listen to your man and work together with him and all that. We can carry carry out a study, about stuff like that to debunk the idea that was said before by our grandparents. That's what I'm talking about improving. But it comes from us. It's not us like copying the nakedness from abroad.
Also shine a light on the women who had to, like, you couldn't sleep if your husband was not home. You had to keep up and wait for him to get back home so that you can go and warm his food. There's nothing wrong with that, but the whole concept of, even if your man was a drunkard and he's going out to drink up to 4 a.m., if he comes back at 4 a.m., serve him food, or he's going to wake you up by beating you up.
You still have to serve him the food.
You still have to serve him the food. Then walking, and you couldn't walk. Even now, I think some people, you're not supposed to walk in front of the man, like just passing by. No, you're always supposed to walk like behind. No, but you're not supposed to like walk by. You understand? Because like you walked in front of a man. How? You understand? Something like that. And other things, just in the way of dressing, like she said. I wouldn't say trousers because people wearing trousers. I mean, my grandmother was a secretary to a white man back in her days, and her dress code was something else. But either way, like people are still dressing how they were dressing, but you can still see the difference in the gomesi. Like the grandmothers were wearing gomesis and whatnot. But now it's more liberating to wear what you want.
Well, let me ask this right here, because I know we're talking about change of times.
Yeah.
And technology and things changes. Definitely. Even cultures change. I mean, we're in the city right now in Kampala, and we can find things different than we would out probably in the villages some of you all come from. And so my thing is that, I guess my question is really, how far do you go in the change of adoption? Because you mentioned the word adopting these changes. Because what's frightening to me is that you all don't see the country we came from and how women are depicted and treated. when I see the clothes are getting skimpier here in Africa, more revealing of the bodies, and then that right there will spawn treatments from men or disrespect towards a woman, and you already don't.
Did you know that starting an ATM business is not only more profitable than investing in real estate, but it actually costs 90%?
And you already don't know sometimes how, like for instance, the other day, another woman calling another woman the B word. Where did that come from? You're gonna change with the times with that. How much do you adopt not to lose yourself?
Okay. You mentioned something about dress code. Yes.
Yeah.
You said we do not know where these customs come from as Black women. Yeah. You mentioned something about, for example, miniskirts. Yeah, women dressing in skimpy clothes, and this is going to encourage men to treat them a certain kind of way and disrespect them. But then you forget that dress code is not a response to you being assaulted. Like you dressing indecently, or not indecently, by the way. Something short does not make it indecent. Yeah. Quite the contrary, men are supposed to have control. So the way I dress is not supposed to determine the way you think, the way you treat me, my output, my productivity. I think this all goes back to men control.
Wow. Hearing this lady say, this girl say this, like, very baffles me. Like, wow, things has changed in Africa. Wow. What she's saying is like, you couldn't say something like that before, because they will hold you accountable for the way you dress. They will say that you provoke them and stuff like that. And I don't know. Wow. If that's how they view things now in Africa, wow, things has changed. It has evolved. Seriously. And but the argument that she's trying to use really is not gonna be applicable in a lot of setting in Africa, because those men, they're not gonna listen to that at all. At all.
You mentioned the word men, and you all give this word to every male. See, men know how to respect a woman. There are a lot of boys out here who have no control. When you get to a place of control, you become a man. And so I think there is a difference of seeing of a man and a boy. And there are men out here who will misuse a woman, mistreat a woman. He will look at her because of her anatomy and not have control of his eyes and his inner desire wanting to take advantage of her. Yeah. These are boys. And so they exist out here. And should not a woman be aware that you can invite those boys that will disrespect and invade themselves on you in your area when they don't have the control with their eyes or their inner desires of your body.
Yeah. Now you're making okay, I see what you're saying, but then it sounds like an excuse you're making for men that disrespect women, because these men are men, they're not boys. Because a 40-year-old man is not a boy.
Okay, right here. This is another point I want to kind of like discuss, because I felt as if she understand what Go Black is saying from her African point of view. In Africa, right, there's no such things as boy and man. Like, just for having a penis, you consider in men. When we say that you have to respect men in Africa, it's every male. It's not even men, it's male. If you're born with a penis, you consider a man. And that's when you owe respect. There's no such things as a man deserving respect and another man that doesn't know. That's, you're supposed to respect a man. That's how it is. So there's no concept of like, has it reached maturity, mentally, emotionally? Nope, it's nothing like that. It's just the anatomy. That's it. So I don't understand. I don't think that those two understood each other. She did not understand what Go Black was saying.
A 45-year-old man is not a boy. He's an understanding man. Yeah.
She's talking about chronological age. That's not what Go Black is talking about.
Who knows what he's doing when he goes ahead to disrespect or assault a woman?
Well,
yeah?
you just crossed the lines. What I just explained to you. What a man is.
Let me try to understand.
Yeah.
Your point that you're trying to put across, are you trying to say that me wearing a skimpy clothes and being assaulted by a boy is somewhat my fault, or
not at all? Not your fault at all. Nah, I would not dare say that. I got two beautiful daughters. I got a wife. I got two sisters, and I got other sisters, young daughters like you all.
Yeah.
Not at all. No.
So
this is when it's almost going into the safari. I must be smart enough to know I'm about to enter a wild place that I might be attacked by lions. Now I can wear colors that may attract that animals to me, or I can be wise enough to wear colors that might diffuse a situation from being attacked. So that's what I'm saying is no, it's not your fault. It's being wise enough to know who's out here.
Yeah.
Pour vendre en ligne, il faut se démarquer. Allez sur Wikicommerce.
Yeah. Going back.
So St. James, I don't know if you're still in the live, but if you're here, what do you think about this point of discussion? When Go Black, do you think Go Black is correct? What do you think, St. James? Are you still here, St. James? I guess you might be gone already. Alright, so I'm gonna continue this.
To the topic about being westernized. We saw the video that you put up on your YouTube.
Yeah.
And I could see the comments about, wait till they meet African American women. Like we'll end up like the way we're thinking, we'll end up like African American women. Like that's such a bad thing. Like we're going to end up in hell or something like that. Just back to your topic of being westernized. Most people, it's not. I wouldn't say it's being westernized. It's like a.
No, I was asking you because there was a point in which Go Black to Africa was telling the girls that uh, when you're a woman and you dress in a very revealing way, you kind of like create an attraction, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily towards you, and then it puts you at risk for potential harms or maybe mistreatment or something like that from the boys. He was clear. He clearly defined boy as a male that is not mentally, emotionally well fully developed in the manner that he can control his impulses. So the lady were arguing that, well, that shouldn't be a reason for the men to assault them. They shouldn't be assaulted just because they are dressed in a very revealing way. That argument to me was like very how am I gonna say, like the girls that kind of like putting themselves in situation that is not gonna favor them, because there's a reason why they ask you to cover up, honestly. And Go Back to Africa had a very good kind of like comeback.
Upgrade, like she said. You know, you upgrade, and I feel like women nowadays. I don't think African women are more westernized. I feel like the right word would be they're liberated. You know, because now a woman, before you were not allowed to think. Before it's the man thinking for you and everything else. But now, me personally, I do follow some African American women, and I look up to them because they, you know, are business savvy, they have their things together, they own properties.
Yeah.
Those are the type of women that I look up to. You know, I also want to be business savvy and own properties here and there. That's now to someone may say, oh, you're westernized. And I also do get this comment on Kenganda. Most people say, oh, Janita is so westernized. Her thing is not westernized. No, I'm just tired of the bullshit I saw in the old age. And I'm deciding that moving forward in the new life that God has blessed me with, I will move with sense, you know. I'm just saying, I'm like, you have a choice. Are we going to go back to the old ways where women were bowing their heads to men and kneeling down? Oh my God, what do you want, my king? Are you satisfied?
Okay, right here. I feel like these people are not talking about the same thing. What she's talking about, it's the fact that women are not respected in Africa. In Africa, women are not even, some men, the majority I would say, some women are very lucky, like my mom and dad. They were, oh my God, best kind of like couple ever. But the majority of people I saw around me, the women were not never considered. I mean, whether her feelings, her needs, the men would even like define what you need for you. Like you would not even like sometimes have his attention. I mean, there was no connection at all. It was like two people smashed together just to play a role, and you play your role and I play mine. There was no accountability from the for the male for the man. The woman cannot hold his her husband accountable for anything as long as he's paying for I mean, like he's taking care of the house financially, paying for the children's school fees, um taking care of the woman's family. Yeah, because when you get married, you're marrying the woman and her family. Family means her mom, her brothers, and her sister, her dad. So that's basically how it goes. You're not just marrying that woman, you're marrying her whole entire family. So as long as the man is doing all that, you have nothing to ask him. You cannot ask him where he was yesterday or stuff like that. He can just brush off an excuse or maybe make up something. You're supposed to just accept it as the truth. Don't question him. Uh, don't confront him. That's kind of thing. That's the type of thing that I think Yanita is talking about. But go back to African and Oshe, they're talking about something completely different. Because in America, these women already have their freedom. They can even the men are raised in in a way that they understand that they can be questioned, they can be held accountable, they can be even challenged. But go back and to Africa, it's just like the level to which those challenges, those women wanting to challenge them, um, that is the problem for them. But for with the ladies, that's not what it is. This lady just asking to be considered, asking to be acknowledged, asking to be valued, to be taken into consideration when the man is like making decision, just to be consulted. You know, that's all these girls are asking. I don't think they're asking for the American level, because that kind of like lack of connection and lack of consideration between the African men and the African woman traditionally created a mistrust. So some women found themselves in a very difficult situation in which they end up being abandoned by the men. You know, they are allowed to have multiple wives, so some men decide to go and marry a second wife and completely dismiss you mentally, emotionally, even financially. Some don't. Some will continue to take care of the children financially and their first wife, but they will not be there emotionally. I mean, you will be basically left to yourself. And if you have spent all your life just being with this man in this marriage, taking care of your children, you did not have the opportunity to uh, to kind of like educate yourself, build a life for yourself, a career, or any develop a financial sources of revenue, you will be left hanging. That's what these women are talking about. That's what these girls are talking about. I don't think they're talking about like competing with the men and stuff like no. Mm-mm.
Fine, whatever you want. You understand? Like, no, now she can, we're all sitting here and we're talking because we're now liberated. We have the woman before would not sit here and talk to you and even look you in the eyes. That was not allowed. What? You're looking at a man in his eyes? Are you fine? You're supposed to look at the feet. The shoes, you're supposed to look down. Your head, even the posture. We're not supposed to sit like this. We're supposed to sit like the world is going to consume us, and we're hiding, and our heads are proud. Yeah. So I don't think it's westernized. I think it's more liberated, and they're getting common sense, honestly, because some women in the old age are just doing the most, in my opinion.
Can I say something? Now, again, I don't have much to compare it to because I started coming to Africa in 2017. But I have had the opportunity to talk to men, and I think here in Uganda. And so what I've asked them is, and even women, are women getting married less today than in comparisons to times past? And so that could be, if it's less, it could be because women are waiting longer to get married because they're not interested because they want to do the career thing.
Yeah.
But also, what I've also understood from this liberation is that here we have somewhat of a dichotomy because women want to be liberated and at the same time want to be protected. And I think that's where the car can't drive on both sides of the road. So then when we look at the liberation and who you're looking up to, then the question fundamentally comes, who are those people? Is it B. Simone? Are these women people who are, number one, unmarried themselves? The attitude that women have taken on, regardless of what happened, I understand why women may feel this way. But now then, can you come back and say, well, the reason why I'm not single is because these guys can't handle me, like the same things that women are saying in America, or are they're too dumb to understand the concepts and conversations, so therefore I don't want to discuss these things with them. And as you see, as logistically, as women are getting more liberated, I'm noticing here men are less, and it's a worldwide thing, in my honest opinion, men are less sympathetic and empathetic towards women here. Probably as in times before. It's happened all over the world. So the question is, what is the medium balance? Because you can be liberated, but then don't ask those guys you want to be liberated from to protect you. Because if you're so liberated, because I think men don't understand, they understand what they want, and then believe that they're going to get what they want as far as a relationship. And if you look at, let's say, rich men in Uganda, and there are more rich men in Uganda than in times past, but there's still very few. Well then, how do you position yourself while you're being liberated doing everything you want? Is that equivalent to what the person that you want to be with wants? And that's the problem women are having in the Western world. Your liberation gets you some of the things that you want, but ultimately it makes those men that you would want to partner with not interested as much as they used to be. And you're seeing it all across Africa, across the world.
Yeah.
Go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, let me just answer that. Girls can go ahead. I get what you're saying because I understand liberation has happened, but it also has a bad side to it. Because to some women, it's getting to their heads. Because I could sit here and talk, but at the end of the day, I do want to get married. I know I'll be someone's wife. I know I'll be someone's mother. I know I'll make a home. I'll make a family and whatnot. But to some women, the liberation gets to their head, and it's like, no, I don't need a man. I don't need this, But everything you just said is like a man saying, oh, women are now emancipated. Why don't you carry this chair? I had a man say that to me, and I'm just like, is that what you understand by emancipation or liberation? And it's, no offense, that's how I've understood it. And it's like what you're trying to say is like,
is it how you've understood it, or is it what I said? Which one is it?
Both.
So what did I say?
What did you say? In my understanding, you're saying that as women being liberated is a good thing, yes? But they can't be liberated and also want to be given princess treatment. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which looks like men do not want. They don't like this competition. Now it just looks like competition of, okay, she thinks she can do my job, okay, she can do it, then she doesn't deserve to be treated like a queen, which is not true.
What is
Yeah,
that? So
because you can still treat a woman. You can still.
Even this thing, even this thing that she's talking about being treated like a queen or whatever, that's so West, that's so American. In Africa, people don't walk around and ask to be treated like a queen. Being a queen is something that's not something that you declare yourself to be. That's something that you are uh, design it, design, design. No, you are appointed to be. That's not you claiming to be a queen. Everybody is not a queen, girl. You know, what does that mean being treated as a queen, being bowed down to, and you want people to be licking your feet? Like, so I don't even understand this girl. You see how much they have imported ideology from elsewhere to the point that it's conflicting with what the reality is. That is very sad. What does I mean being treated like a queen? I don't even know. I'm going to just move forward on this one.
And you're wanting to have more liberties and freedoms. And I'm all for women liberties and freedoms when it comes to being mistreated, like you. If you want to build and launch your own Android, iOS, or web app without any technical skills, then, like you said, looking down upon, and you got to perform and worship a man and all that. To me, that has no place. Yeah. It doesn't, because I believe a man and woman should be a team, should be one.
Yes.
And how do you both build to become a powerful couple in order to make the family network work?
Exactly, go black. That's my idea exactly of a family. There is no competition. I don't know where that comes from. Even if we happen to be like divorced, we still have to work together for the goodness of our children. I don't know where the competition comes from. I have no idea. It doesn't even make sense. That's like going against yourself. Like, yeah. So the discussion should have stopped right here, because the thing that the girls are claiming are not the thing that the Black Americans men are struggling with. They already have that power together. No woman in America is being asked to not look their husband in the eye. They they their communication, the exchange is done at a same level. Like, you can look your man in the eye, you can talk to him, you can uh, um, offer him idea, you can even how am I gonna say? You can even demand certain things. But in Africa, typical traditional African marriage, that wasn't how it was before. These men were like, how am I gonna say, tyrant, tyranny, I don't know how you say that word in English. Tyran, tyrant.
Instead of arguing about, I'm just as fair, equal as you are, and I can go out here and do the same thing. And that's so far from the truth. Me, and my man just moved the couch. No woman raised her hand and said, "Let me help y'all with that couch," when y'all moved it across the floor.
Hello?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so we do know there are differences. There's no way I would want to be a woman to carry 9 months in my body, a baby. I was given a role and a duty to plant that seed, and you were given an awesome responsibility. But the world want to tell you that no, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to. And you all don't know what that's going on in America. You might have heard a little bit of it. Now, a man can choose to be a woman can choose to be a man.
Transgenders.
And we're not even just transgenders. I can just come up and just say, I'm a woman. And nobody is supposed to say, no, you're not.
Yeah.
They want to do away with the pronouns. See, this is all going to spread here too. Because
It already has, actually.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where you're talking about adopting changes. Well, you got to change with the times. That's dangerous when you're trying to change with times instead of keeping the base of who you are. And I see Africa are losing exactly who they are. Y'all knew who y'all were, man and woman, child. These things are slowly changing. That's why I said, is it that the African women are slowly changing into a Western mentality? because I see what's coming because I've lived in it for 56 years in America. That's why I'm trying to scream loud and say, no, don't go that road. Yes, we need to liberate our women from how their treatment has been. But then again, to define what a woman is, they're arguing over this right here in America right now. What is a woman? This is in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., talking with people asking what is a woman. And you shake your head as nonsense as it may seem. As nonsense as that may seem, the LGBT community has moved around the globe now. People are not speaking against, oh, I don't see nothing wrong with it. 20 years ago, people saw something wrong with it, but they changed with the times. Scenario I will not change on. No, because I'm not changing with the times because I'm going to stay on what was given as the base of life, man, woman, and child. So what are your thoughts of that capacity of where what is a woman? What is a man? What is that in your mindset? Because you mentioned my sister, my queen.
Can I build on that? Go ahead, ask the question.
Yeah, because she said every woman should be treated like a queen. Go ahead.
I really want to deal with you on that. I gotta deal with you. All of y'all want to deal with y'all. Why should every woman be treated like a queen?
Okay. I don't know if I can answer that question, but I want you to understand.
Speak for yourself.
Me like a baby. Or something.
I have to move forward. If not, I'm going to be here past 12.
Like, don't do that. Yeah. So yes, not every woman should be treated as a queen. Every woman should talk to her person or her partner, whoever she's dealing with, and tell the person how they would like to be treated.
And the treatment could still be in the queen's
That's subjective, right?
You define what a queen should be in your treatment, how you want to be handled.
Exactly. So not every woman wants to be treated as a queen or should be anyway, because it's just, it doesn't make sense. There are women who get offended when men compliment them. There are women who get offended when maybe a man will look, maybe to another woman that's queen treatment, and to another woman that's harassment. So it varies across the board. It just, you can't have like a word to explain what queen treatment is. Yeah.
Go ahead.
There is something that Oshe mentioned that we didn't talk about. You said you talked about something to do with women from our mothers' times being married more than the women in this generation. Personally, where I come from, there's a lot of arranged marriages during those days, and I don't know if everyone agrees with me that most of us, or some of us, we've seen our mothers being violated by our fathers, or even the men around, and they are staying in these marriages because at the end of the day they are being blamed. If your man cheats on you, it's your fault. Why is your man cheating on you? Why is your man in the bar the whole night? It means you're not taking care of him. But why am I supposed to be responsible for this man beating me up every night, for this man coming? And these are the things that women in this era, in our generation, are actually realizing, and
they don't have to
they don't have to deal with that. You understand? If you beat me today, I'm not coming back tomorrow.
Do you know why you're not coming back tomorrow? Because you have the resources to live that the women in the old age did have. Yes.
So I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, even here, you see, the thing these young girls are talking about are completely different from what Goshe and Go Blacks are talking about. Yeah, what the young lady just explained, it's common in Africa, especially, yeah, it's common even now because men were using their position in which in the marriage they have all the right, they're the breadwinner, and they kind of like fight to keep the exclusivity to be the breadwinner so that they can weaponize it against the women. There's a lot of vicious men, that do that. That, yeah, and this woman in the marriage most of the time are not appreciated. They are putting down because they've been taken care of. They are threatened. They tell you that, well, if you don't, uh, who would even like take you as a wife if I leave you? You just, so this woman live in that marriage with the sense of like not worth anything, and um sometimes they're so frustrated that they will take their anger out on their own children, sometimes on other people's children. Like if you happen to send your child to live with them or something like that, or maybe the maid in the house, or something or somebody else. We are, well, we know that hurt people. So yeah, kind of like that. So that kind of toxic environment, you know, we like that kind of toxic environment are perpetuated if at one point we don't stop and say no. We have to like revise and redefine how we want our family to function, you know. But that's not, change is the hardest thing to implement in general. People don't want to change, but in Africa it's another level.
I think it's a great teaching lesson for a mother to even explain to her daughter that her father was not a man. He was a damaged boy who got somehow trapped and not became into his manhood. That's just how I see it. Mm-hmm. I can't see a man beating a woman because you mentioned something.
You see that Go Black says that because in America that's something that is punished by the law, but in Africa the laws are written. It stays in the book, you know, because it conflicts with the traditional. I'm gonna say, I mean, that's like I always say that we operate from a traumatic place, and people want to argue with me. That's one of the sequela of the trauma that we went through and never deal with. Violence is something that is so tolerated in our society, in our African society. There's nothing like calling a man out for maybe harassing or being passive aggressive. First of all, they don't even understand what passive aggressive is. As long as a man did not beat you up to get you to the point that you are near dead, nobody's gonna intervene. They kind of like grant him that full right to dispose of you the way he wants to. It's only nowadays that a lot of women are calling. I mean, women of this generation are creating support group around women in Africa that goes through domestic violence, and the domestic violence that they recognize are mainly physical violence. They haven't um, reach the level of emotional, psychological violence. They don't understand passive aggressive behavior, stuff like that, you know. So yeah, women go through a lot in their marriage in Africa. From the outside, you think it's great, but some most of the time, these women are overlooked in a marriage. They're undermined, especially if you're a wife or a man that has a lot of money, because they look at you as a burden, a load that they're carrying. You know, you go through the bride, how do you call that thing? Bride price. You do that, and now families are becoming so greedy. Like even your own family who put you up for sale, basically. Before the bride price wasn't something expensive in a tradition. It doesn't supposed to be expensive. it's mainly like how am I gonna say, like it's symbolic, you know, it's symbolic. But now, because of greed, this woman's family will ask to buy the uncle rapper, buy the uncle a cow, buy the aunt a cow, buy them bags of rice, bags of salt. Ridiculous amount of money you have to like pay to marry a woman, and then when she get into the marriage, she has to leave that marriage, and she has to like put up with any mess that comes with it. If any trauma that a man has, you have to take it without complaining, because you know that, you know the price that he had to pay to get you. Yeah, a lot of abuse in our marriages. That is not what Go Black and O'Shea are talking about. That one cannot even be tolerated here. They're talking about like in a woman and man relationship in the marriage themselves from an equal playing field. That's what they're talking about.
very profoundly, and that was that, when a man comes to an understanding, when you understand, you come to an understanding of something, you don't do those things. Boys is in a learning phase,
Yeah.
and then they grow into trial and error, and then they come into a manhood. I've seen some African cultures where they send the men out there into the bush somewhere and say, okay, this right here is the process of becoming that man.
Yes.
I think we need to define women and men, because if we keep listening and watching the Western world, we'll continue to be screwed up. Even though Africa is not perfect in its cultural, tribal traditions, but I will still stand on that the conversation we had earlier. When it comes to a woman and her differences from a man and having a family, that woman is so important in the household for the children that you have women argue today against that. And I know we were having conversation earlier of, well, a woman can go ahead and pursue her career and she can always just give her, her child to somebody watch the baby or what have you. And to me, I'm like, the most precious thing a mother's purpose in life is bringing forth life. Man can't do it. We just plant the seed. No different than the Mother Earth. You plant the seed, it will grow. But the mother takes care of it, though. And so my thing is, I cannot breastfeed a baby. I cannot nurture how I'm mothered, because them important years, them first couple of years are very important, that you took a living organism out of your body, that you depended on it and it depended on you. And how Europeans do is sever the umbilical cord, send that baby two stories up in the hospital, separate from the mother, to cause a disconnect within the mother and the child. And then we take on this, because of women liberation, is take the child, put them aside in the daycare, and mother goes off and chases a career. To me, I think there should be some place where woman can respect the fact that being the wife and the mother of the home is way more important than chasing a career. But yet, that has been looked down upon.
Let me just say this real quick. I want to kind of really extend on this point. Women's liberation, anybody liberation, even for us as African Americans, they say when we got out of slavery, some of us looked left and looked right and went right back to slavery. But when you're free, right? And it's the thing. Liberation in any concept is free market capitalism. And what women have to understand in anywhere in the world, and I'm seeing it here, is that you are what you are on the market, what you can prove, how much money you get paid. Okay, if it's $1 million a day, or if it's $1 a day, you cannot say, I'm not worth $1 a day, but that's what you're getting. If you don't want $1 a day, you improve your skills to get to where you want to be. But now what I've noticed in any feminism, and I know African feminism is different from that which is, Canada, Western world. When women don't achieve what they want with this newfound freedom, and sometimes comes back, and all the time comes back to, well, it's the men. It's the reason why I don't have what I have is because men. Well, why is that not? You have the ability to be successful. You put yourself out there on the market. You have everything you can do. So the issue is with this whole free market capitalism, why are women still saying, I need to be treated like a queen? Or you need to protect me, you need to provide for me. When the reality is you need to compete for that of what you get. And women have a problem with the competition element of capitalism, of freedom.
Okay, listen. This is one of the point in which I have to uh, not disagree, bring certain element of clarity. In Africa, the woman already knows from the way she's raised, already knows what she has to kind of like bring to the table. So she doesn't really, for a woman that was raised well, that was raised in a family unit, about a good mom, she already knows the basics on how to take care of a household. So the competition that Osha is talking about, I don't know, that's the Western thing. Maybe he's talking about career also. I don't know, cars, what to show when it comes to financial attribute. But when it comes to Africa, you are prepared. Trust me. If you raise in the not now that some people, for the name of modernity, they are raising their children, not teaching them how to cook, how to clean, how to be there for the men when they need them. Some people, yeah, are doing that now, even at home, which is sad because they're depriving this woman from the values that they're supposed to kind of like have masters, you know, before seeking for marriage. In Africa, usually every young girl wanna be married. Marriage is like, oh my God, it's like having a degree. To be honest with you guys, getting married is a way to honoring your mom, your dad. You're marrying for your family. You're not marrying for yourself only. You honoring, you make, that's the day that your dad is so happy to give you away to, because somebody else is gonna take care of you. And that's why single women are not value in Africa. I'm telling you guys, these men don't respect single women. So I don't know what you're talking about, O'Shea.
Women want to be able to say in any form of feminism around the world, you know, I want these rights and stuff like that, but still you're supposed to give me nothing. Well, when you look at men, in 1949, my grandfather was 31. In 2022, my girl. We can say, for example, well, you know, you're a man, the system is befitting to you. Let's say if let's say if that is the case, and my roles didn't change. Well, if my roles didn't change, your roles did, then why didn't you get more of what you want? And what you're seeing is women are still saying we're not happy of getting what we want, no matter what you get. In America, you get these ladies that get free housing for kids. They're costing the government much money. Women are not competing for what they actually deserve. And what the free market says in the world, whatever you get in life as a woman or a man, and the market's open, you're fighting for what you deserve. And women, when they go out there and they fail in whatever area there is, it's somehow somebody else's fault. And I don't just believe it's just the man's fault. I believe that women don't want to take responsibility a lot of times as adults, and that's the problem. Women have to be adults. It's not that you don't deserve to be treated like a queen. You do if you show the man that you want to be with that you're a queen.
Yes.
You don't just get to just be a queen because, oh my God, it's me. Oh my goodness, hey baby, you know, take our money because you're a queen. You know, you are the table.
Right.
Because that's not how you treat me. When you see me, what do you make me do? How much money you make? Where did you go to school? What did you do? What are you doing? This is that. So when men say that to women, y'all have a problem with it. That's the issue. And any question. The question is in any part of the world. Why do women have a problem competing on the market for that which they want?
Wait, before one of the girls answers, Black, could you react to what he just said?
I'm gonna react to what he just said. What he just said is purely American and Western society's issue. I don't think Africa has that issue yet. there's no there's no competition between men and women, Every single woman in Africa would love to be married. We love, like I just told you guys, it's an honor for a man to ask you to marry him. It's not like it's not the opposite like in the West. That's why I always tell you guys here that African mimicking the one knee down and ask a woman to marry them. Uh that's purely a that's purely a Western standard. Our women will love, they love to be asked to be a wife because that's an honor to themselves, to their family. It's an honor. Like you, before in those days, you would go through a vet process. Like the man would basically send you to his mom's house to stay over there for 2 weeks to prove yourself that you're gonna be a good wife. That means while you're over there, you have to show his mom that you're a decent woman, you're a respectful woman, you know how to take care of the family, you know how to show respect, you have to be honorable, and all that. It's not that nonsense that we see now, a man kneeling down to ask for an African woman to marry them. That's so foreign. That is so that doesn't even like make sense in an African culture. It should have been the opposite. You know, it should have been the opposite. To marry a man, your family has to say yes. His family has to say yes. It's not about both of you. Okay? It's about building the community. Marriage in Africa is about like having babies, building a family. It's not about looking at each other, be like, I love you, honey. I love you too. Give me some flowers. None of that. It's not nothing like that.
Back to what he
Yeah,
said.
do you agree with what he says? Because you're two different people.
Yeah,
We want to
I mean,
hear what you have to say.
yeah. I mean, to a degree, I agree and disagree. And this is it's this right here.
St. James,
As he was telling about women are
St. James, you kneeling down for the men is romantic. It's romantic for people in the West. It's not romantic to me. There's nothing romantic about it. Each society define what is romantic. What would be romantic to me would be you go talking to my dad and my mom, even without me knowing, and come up with a positive answer. That would be romantic to me. What, like African people that are doing that, knitting down, copying and pasting, they're just doing it for the picture to put on the Instagram. They just do it for other people. They're not doing it because they feel it. They're never gonna be like that.
out on the market. Y'all want to get into this man's game,
Okay, Saint James, you can click and speak in French. It's okay.
okay? And y'all get into the man's game, and it's one complaint about another complaint, whether it's treatment, whether it's fair, equitable pay, whether it is being in positions, having opportunities, and all that right there. And then when you see women who get in these positions, it seems as though that there are still more that they're wanting to get. And so I disagree with that. The talk around the town is that, oh, women don't get equal pay. Well,
Which is true, by the way.
well,
It's true.
it may be true to certain degrees, not across the board.
Okay.
There are women who get paid way more money than some men.
Yes.
You're talking about, is it for the exact same job that you're doing, do the woman or the man? But there's so many variables. You know what I mean?
James Joel, you have the whole time in a marriage to show your wife to define what you find romantic. My issue is just that it's not applicable. Like the one knee and giving a woman a a ring, even the ring concept is not applicable. That ring means a lot to the Westerner. That's diamond. Usually that ring is supposed to be a diamond. symbolizing uh, the strength of your relationship. You understand? It's hard. Diamond is supposed to be a hard rock or whatever. And when I did my research, they told me that when you kneel down and offer a ring, a diamond ring to the woman and ask her to marry you, you putting her on the pedestal. You are submitting, telling the woman that you promise to always keep her elevated. You're gonna be her I don't know how to say it in French. Her servant. You're gonna always. She's always gonna be your princess forever. That is not the concept of marriage in Africa at all. Marriage in Africa is not about romance. That's what's killing these young people today. That's why you're seeing so many cases, divorce cases today in Africa. Marriage is a sacrifice, okay? It's a sacrifice. When you decide to get married, there's so much that you're gonna have to give up on. It's not about you anymore because people get into this relationship and still looking for their own personal interest. And when they're not mad, they're out of it. They're like, oh, I don't love you anymore. I'm out. No, do you think that after like 20 years, you guys still in love? No, you guys become like brothers and sisters. No, that's reality. That's why you see so many people divorcing, and the marriage in Hollywood never lasts because they get into the marriage with this fantasy of always gonna be loving each other. Do you know what it is to know someone, living with someone every single day, knowing their every single habit? At one point, it's even annoying, because you can predict you can predict the person, everything about the person, and it becomes boring. It's become monotone. So you have to have a bigger purpose than that, than just the romance. Don't center the marriage around romance. No, it's not about romance. And being in a marriage, you can create whatever you find. I focus more about what I know the other person really like. I cannot just do something just for the name of romance. There are people that don't like flowers. That's like seriously, that's a very concept. But somebody that do not like flower can develop their love for flowers in a marriage. And if you give it to her, maybe that will make her feel special. Or stuff. There's so many. You have to learn the other person, know what the person likes. There's no standard to romance, to be honest with you guys. Some people always want to dictate the standard for other people, but I don't work like that at all. I don't work like. Don't do something for me just because. Get to know me. To be honest, get to know me and know what I like.
America, you're not supposed to tell somebody how much money you make, especially that's one thing you sign when you sign with a company or a corporation or institution, because there are different variables in when it comes to pay.
Yes.
It could be your experience that's involved while you're getting paid more money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could be, whether college you came from. You went to a prestigious college or what have you. It could be different things, So pound for pound, there's not this equitable pay, I think, that's out there. Like, we're doing the same job, I should get paid like you.
I don't know about Uganda. It might be more or less. In America, you get sued if somebody find that out. Like I'm a doctor and you're a male. But maybe here.
But that's still different. I mean, it's still different because what constitutes my wife as a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
She's under contract. I work my wife's own contract, and I had to do a lot of research to find out what was the going pay.
Mm-hmm.
Looking up males and females.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now every state is different. Every hospital is different.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is your first 2 years, we're going to put you under this. We're going to pay you this salary. After that, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's free game. Whether you're male or female, you're going to have to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that I think we throw these things out here. This is where this movement comes from, to have people believe it's a big deal that all these women are not getting paid equal like men. And yet, do you get paid equal to men? The jobs y'all do, are you getting paid less than a man that you're doing?
You think so?
The same job. She says she is. What about you? Are you getting paid more than a man or less than a man?
In terms of what? I mean, the males have, we're all different. Everyone has a different role. So I'm paid for my role because I can't be paid as a videographer because I'm not a videographer.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay, so you do what you do.
In my role.
What about you?
Yes.
John, where I've worked, I've had different responsibilities.
This whole movement is nothing but just to implant into your mindset that this inequality in pays to go ahead and push this woman's liberation, causing the confusion and the division that you both two of y'all have admitted that no, you get paid what you are rightfully deserved. Because at the end of the day, when it comes for you to sit across the table from writing that contract, you agree.
Yes.
You're the one who agrees to what you want to get paid. Why do you want to look at what he's getting paid or she's getting paid? You know that's biblical too. There's a man. There was people who agreed to go ahead and get paid for a full day's work. One worker came in at half of the day and got paid the same. Those people complained why was getting paid the same. What is it? It said, why are you in the matters of business of one coming in when you agree to your pay?
Okay, that's a nice answer. Now you say you have two daughters. I'm sorry, you said you have two daughters. What do you think about what he said about women having an issue with competition? Would you like your daughters to compete for men?
Compete for men?
So, St. James, are you still here? I don't know, my computer went off as usual. Um, yeah, what do you guys think so far? I'm restarting my computer. What do you guys think so far? Do you guys think that we're gonna be in trouble with uh feminism ideology in Africa? Do you guys think so? Where are the guys? Let me see. It's I'm restarting my computer. Hatred. St. James, you said you were coming here. Where are you? Let me see. So, yeah, that was a very good discussion. I really liked it. And yeah, the video is almost at the end. You don't, it's almost at the end. and I don't know how to invite guests. I've been inviting let me see, copy. Where do I paste this? Let me see, comment, paste. I'm trying to invite, I don't know. Let me see. Paste. I'm trying to invite someone over here on the panel to give me their opinion, but this thing is not working. Don't you go to guests? I'm on my phone now and I'm trying to figure this out. Invite guest. There's a link in the chat. Can you guys click on the link and come and give me your opinion? Tell me what you think. It seems like most of it looks like most of my Africans, my fellow Africans, really hate when Americans go to Africa and trying to talk to the African woman. That's the feeling that I'm getting because I don't know. Paste. Okay, got it. I put the link in the chat. Can you let me see? Comment something. Jim Joel, you never jump on this panel. I have never talked to you before. You always stay in the comment section. Even that's you, somebody else. Who else? Let me see. I'm trying to get it back up on my computer because it just went started lagging. But yeah, I don't know how to share the screen on the phone. I don't even know if there's an option for that. I have no idea. I haven't seen Mr. Uganda for a little while. I hope he's okay. Oh. Have you guys seen Mr. Uganda? He's one of my faithful supporters. I'm about to get my computer back up. Bear with me. StreamYard. Oh, oh, Hallelujah. 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 How do you share the screen on the phone? I see post, comment, layout. Maybe is it layout? No, I don't think so. It's not layout. Layout is just this thing over here. You have layout, private chat, setting, cancel. Yeah, it's not that one. I guess the phone has a limited version of StreamYard. Looks like it. Yeah. Yeah, but what I was saying is that I don't believe, well, let me not say that I don't believe that we're gonna be in trouble with feminism, but I'm just worried that it's gonna get our African women confused, because we are very quick to embrace ideas that coming from elsewhere without really taking the time to understand what those ideas mean, even in the context of where it comes from, and and if it's working for them. Because before you adopt something, you have to understand that thing in the context in which it was created and see if it's working or not. You don't just embrace it and experience it yourself. No, that's not a good idea. I would love. Oh, to add myself to the screen. Alright, let me see if I can find the video again. Go YouTube, go back to Africa. Yeah, we're supposed to like really understand these notions from where it came from and how it's working for that society before we can even embrace it. But we absorb so much garbage as Africans around the world because nothing is uh nothing is really filtered. We just have to use our own judgment, and sometimes we cannot really understand beyond our limited knowledge of what we're saying. Because I don't think this girl even understand anything. The mannerism, the words. Go Black say one of the girl that he heard one of Uganda's girl calling another woman a B word. This woman think is cool. This woman think is cool. Like over there in Africa is cool, is foreign. Everything that foreign is foreign. It's perceived as cool. It's new. Oh, it means you modern. You evolve. Oh my God, nonsense. No, it's not. So we have to be careful. Also, there's a language that I have been noticing more and more. It's the baby mama and the baby daddy. That is so. I don't know what I would do if someone comes to be his baby mama. That is so derogatory. That is so not it. Oh my God. We should use more respectful language than that. Baby mama, baby daddy. That sounds so ugly to me. We have to refrain from using languages that we are importing from elsewhere. That's not a language that is normally used. What do you think, Saint James? What do you think about the baby mama, baby mama, baby daddy, and all that comes from Nigeria? Because Nigerian people are so desperate to act and look like Americans that anything they just grab, everything they see. Like the Nigerian Hollywood people, that's what they use now. Baby mama, baby daddy. Oh my God. It's a derogatory way of referring to your mom or uh, to your child's mom or dad. Let's wrap up this live stream.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay, so you do what you do.
In my role.
What about you?
Some like John,
Folks, real estate expert and attorney Bob Diamond here with a critical message that probably no one else has.
where I've worked, I've had different responsibilities.
This whole movement is nothing but just to implant into your mindset that this inequality in pays to go ahead and push this woman's liberation, causing the confusion and the division that you both two of y'all have admitted that no, you get paid what you are rightfully deserved.
Children.
Competing against a man.
No.
I'm missing it.
Well, if your daughter says, "I want a rich man,"
yeah,
I want a man I deserve a man that's $1 million.
Yeah.
What would you tell her?
Yeah. That's a good question. Okay. When I found my wife, before I found my wife, I had this list of things I wanted in a woman. But I wasn't measuring up to it. If I want a woman out there, not out there, I want a woman, this was one on my list. I don't want a floozy woman out there loose, giving herself up. And what I heard the Spirit says, are you doing it? I want a woman who holds herself to an esteem. A woman who's are you there? Because I mean, if I'm looking for a queen, I should be at a standard of a king.
Yes.
And so, if my daughter wants a rich man, well, okay, all right, then where do you hold yourself at?
Hello.
Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be a millionaire,
Right?
Because he's got millions. To me, are you a representative of a millionaire?
Or a millionaire's wife.
Or a millionaire's wife, what I'm saying, yeah, representative of a millionaire's wife. You know, I mean, because to me, where you hold yourself at is where you're going to wind up drawing anyway.
Perfect.
And that's
If you look loose, you find men who has loose eyes.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there cases where certain, this for the ladies, unrelated, are there cases where certain men approach you and you're like, oh my God, am I the problem? Do I look like your type? Do I look like you can approach me?
Yeah.
And you feel offended? Does that happen?
Not really. I don't think if it happens, you should look at it as that, because men have audacity with a capital A. So it shouldn't be a reflection. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't
who you are.
Yeah,
Reflection of who you are.
that's my opinion. Because even about a guy was hitting, like, come on. Even about a guy will hit on you. Like, it doesn't mean that you're out there attracting border guys. It's just
wait a minute. Let's deal with that. Are you sure?
no, because men are like, I feel like men have the audacity. They feel like they can approach anyone. Even an 18-year-old can feel like he can walk up to you and say something.
Is anything wrong with that? As a man who is made and created to be with the woman, for him to acknowledge that your beauty or want to see who you
There's
are.
nothing wrong with that. She was just saying is like the men who approach her, should that be a reflection of who she is? And I told her it's not, because
It's
people
not.
just approach you.
Anyone
can approach you. Yes.
We got to deal with
No,
that.
but anyone can approach you.
It could be because there is something that they see. I say it could be, not at all. You know, honey attracts bees. Okay, honey attracts bees, but honey don't attract a lot of other things. So my thing is that it's a possibility, because really, when a man approaches you, have you ever had a man approach you and say, "Excuse me, I would really love to know who you are"?
Yes.
Was he correct?
And it was in a line at a supermarket. So really, I just want to let you know.
Is that a lie?
Yeah.
Because if he wants to know who you are, then what's wrong with getting him, okay, hey, you want to know who I am? No problem. Here's my number. I'd rather for you to get to know who I am than this beauty that you think I have, and that's all you want from me.
Yeah. Let me just let you know, a Ugandan woman, when she sleeps and wakes up, from the moment she steps outside her door,
There's going to be someone
at chances she gets a cat call, the gatekeeper, the border guy, the guy at the shop, everyone so it can't be a reflection of who you are. Because if a random guy cat calls me, is that a reflection of who I am? Because someone said it to cat call me in the market.
Your reflection is a woman.
Can I get canceled?
So being cat called is a reflection of who I am.
No. Listen to this. I'm gonna get canceled real quick. But I do want to deal with this because this is something that we're adults.
Yeah, we're adults.
And then we're going to deal with equality. That's why I like to deal with.
Yes.
If you tell me, because I'm not going to deal with the men that obviously you don't like, because you don't like those guys. So let's leave them alone.
Yeah.
We're going to X them out of the conversation because you don't want to deal with them anyway.
Yeah.
What about the ones you want to deal with? Now, if year after year, you cannot maintain one of those, or he won't marry you, or you're still just as, 2018, 2019, 2000, I see you Valentine's Day. Then at that point, because I'm not dealing with, I'm only dealing with this concept now. I'm not dealing with what.
I understand.
Yes.
Okay, so you do what you do.
In my role.
What about you?
Yes.
Some like John, where I've worked, I've had different responsibilities.
This whole movement is nothing but just to implant into your mindset that this inequality in pays to go ahead and push this woman's liberation, causing the confusion and the division that two of y'all have admitted that acknowledge that
So
Women
let's
want to make that stand.
So let's say you're a woman working on yourself and you're trying to be something. Why are you shamed for turning down a man who's also working on himself?
No, I'm not
You know,
saying
because if we are attracting what we want to be, so why can't you accept? Why are we shamed? Why are women? You're gonna
I
be shamed.
agree with what Osha said, but then also I agree with what May said. Like, yes, the opinion of okay, the man.
All right, I think I reached my 2 hours limit. I gotta go. I thank you guys for listening. As usual, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and I'll see you. See you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.